Summer, I know you have some news to share, so why don't we get right to it?
The news is that this will be my last year training under Coach Brent at the Sarasota Sharks this last swim season. So, I mean, just to reflect on these past 2.5, almost 3 years I've been here, I've grown so much as a person and as a swimmer, and Coach Brent's really pushed me to be the best swimmer I can be, and I'll forever cherish my years here. And yeah, it's been a great run.
Coach Brent, some reaction to that?
I have mixed emotions on it. I mean, obviously, I'm very proud of everything we've done, but this is a 18-year-old girl, which I've been very honest about the entire way through, and I want to see her continue to develop as a person, develop as a swimmer, and this is what we do here. Like, you know, everybody goes on to another step, so I'm happy to usher her into the next part of her career. Glad I've been a part of it, and I will always be a part of it however she wants me to be a part of it in the years to come. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what we've done. Obviously, I'll be sad to see her go, but at the same time, part of what I do as a developmental coach is encourage these kids to get out of the nest too. So not quite like a parent, but that's part of my job. So.
What do you recall about those early days? I think Summer might have been, 14, 15 years old?
15, right?
15 years old when she stepped onto deck here. What do you recall about seeing her swim for the first time?
Well, I mean, I think the things I remember are the braces.
Oh, no.
I mean, she's just grown up. She's grown up so much in the past 3 years. So it's a privilege to have watched that as she's gotten older, gotten more confident about what she's doing, how she goes about doing things. Strokes, in my opinion, have gotten better and better and better. She's gotten stronger, and she's grown into an awesome young woman. So that's all I can. That's how I'm going to remember all this, and that's what I hope for with anybody who comes through here. So.
And what about you, Summer? I mean, you were trying to figure out this wild and wonderful world and what it was going to look like. What do you recall about coming here, and what was it about this place where you said, this is where I want to be?
Yes, well, I took a visit here for a month to kind of get away from COVID. It was never planned to stay here, and being here for 3.5 weeks really just made me want to move down here full time. And since the moment I stepped on deck just as a visitor, I knew Coach Brent believed in me, and that's really the time that I was transitioning between my freestyle events, going back to 4 IM and 200 fly, and doing the training here really inspired me to get back into those events. And then as soon as I moved down here, I knew this is home and where I wanted to stay. Coach Brent's always been super collaborative with me and made me feel welcomed along with the team. So yeah, I mean, it's been great, and the training every day on deck is so much fun with my teammates and Coach Brent.
Now that you are 18, which, Brent, I mean, still feels wild to say.
Sure.
You have a little bit of reflection, Summer, and I wonder if you can grasp or appreciate at this point how important it was for you to be in this setting with your peers in these groups where you could have fun and work hard. Are you able to appreciate how important that was for you?
Oh, of course. I mean, the years that I've been here, I think I fell more in love with swimming than I ever have. And just being around people my age, pushing me every day, has been awesome. And I've created lifelong friendships here, and I'll be forever grateful for that. And growing up here in my main teen years has been also really fun. I mean, Florida is such a beautiful place. So yeah, I mean, overall, we'll always reflect on that along with all the accomplishments that we've had. I mean, first world record here, first Olympic gold here. I mean, that's something that I'll never forget.
Brent, one of the things that struck me the first time you and I talked right over there was that you understood that Summer was a swimmer and she was a young lady. And I was so impressed by that. Did you always know that your job was obviously going to be helping her improve swimming, but also helping her grow as a human in these very formative years of her life?
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's certainly our goal, and anytime I get to work with teenagers, you can have such a huge impact on their life. And you can do it through sport, which is like the safest place on the planet to learn any type of lesson, especially in swimming. We were talking about it beforehand, just good people in the sport. And it's a great place to learn life lessons and develop as a human being. So the fast swimming is awesome, but records will get broken. Somebody else will win a medal at some point down the road, but we'll remember all the other stuff along the way. So
you just said first world record, first Olympic medal. I mean, Summer, could you in your wildest dreams have imagined what you would accomplish in your 3 years here, multi-time world champion, record on record on record.
Well, yeah, I mean, moving down here, I knew that I wanted to push myself to the farthest capabilities, but I never thought it would be where I am today, and I didn't think I could ever do that. So to accomplish that with Coach Brent is just, I don't know, it's so unreal, and I don't think anything's really sunk in yet still. But I mean, yeah, when I first moved down, I never thought I'd be leaving with all the medals and the records and all the stuff that we've accomplished.
And for you, Brent, how did you navigate understanding that you had a generational talent? You have never flinched in any one of our interviews with understanding what your role is with Summer, where some coaches might.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think my wife would agree with you. I mean, my wife has been with me the whole time, and she knows there's definitely been some stressful times. But for me, it's I just wanted to help, and I want to be there for the ups and downs. Like, I don't feel like my job is to ride the roller coaster. It's my job to help Summer through the roller coaster. It doesn't mean that I'm not on it with her sometimes, but it's certainly my job to kind of help her along the way. And I just feel very strongly that's kind of my mentality, is trying to stay as even as I possibly can, even though I might be the duck on the pond a little bit. I think that's my job, is to keep things calm and keep things moving forward. And again, when Summer came down here and decided this was the place she wanted to be, I knew how, I mean, I think I said it to you, Canada will take care of her, because I knew how great she could be and how important she is to the country. So,
What are you most proud of?
well, one, the person she's become, but I've told her this, anytime I get to talk and people ask me about Summer, I usually try to finish my presentations now with the last 15 meters of her 200 IM at the Olympic Games. For me, that's everything. That is 8 days of really intense swimming in the most competitive heat, with the best athletes, getting the job done, and just doing whatever it takes to get your hand on the wall and being the best. We talk a lot about being the best when your best is required. That sums that up. The person that she's become is something I'm very proud of. From a swimming standpoint, those last 15 meters of that 200 IM are probably the greatest in my swimming career.
I mean, I can see the race. I get goosebumps. How about you, Summer?
I would have to agree with probably the 200 IM as well, just because ending off an Olympics like that, I mean, it's pretty memorable, and that was probably my personal most anticipated race, because I hadn't swam the 200 IM on the world level ever. So doing that first time at the Olympics was definitely interesting, but I knew it was going to be a fight going in, and that's really what motivated me. And I mean, obviously it was a very fun race, but yeah, I'll always remember the last 50 of the 2 IM. But overall, I mean, the whole Olympics, and before that too, like, there's just so many memories along the way of things that me and Coach Brent have accomplished that we should just be so proud of.
How have you managed to stay in love with this sport, Summer? Because the sense I get is you love it maybe more now than ever.
Yeah.
At a time when you're seeing a lot of stars and a lot of swimmers burn out or fall out of love, how much has Brent played a role in making sure this is still fun to show up here day after day?
Oh, for sure, it's so important. I mean, I think the reason why people might burn out is because they don't like the day-to-day grind, and I think that's why you can love racing, but you have to love training too. And I've always loved training, and Coach Brent always comes on deck and motivates the team to get better, and we all want to get better, and that's just the culture here. So just the day-to-day grind and being able to enjoy that is super important. And then having that enjoyable day-to-day grind is what gets you to the accomplishments in the races, and that's really what kind of makes it all worth it in the end.
When you hear that, Brent, I wonder what comes up for you, because there are a lot of swimmers who at the end of a long haul hate this sport.
Sure.
I've never got the sense from Summer that's ever come up for her, and I think you've played a role in that.
I hope so, and I'm proud that she feels that way about the environment that we have here, and I'm glad that she's been able to help develop that environment. The ups and downs are part of this whole game, and you've got to see them as opportunities, both the highs and the lows, and then make sure you sprinkle a little bit of fun in there, and a little bit of winning helps, and a little bit of positive helps, and then you go back and have to reevaluate and find things to get better. It's just kind of all of the pieces are important to the puzzle, and so I guess my feeling is that I'm just proud that she feels that way about her experience here. So,
Summer, what is it about Brent that makes him such a great coach?
I mean, there's many things. I think it's just, I mean, obviously I trust him fully with his training plans and things like that, and I think having trust is really important, but at the same time, if I need to voice something and I think, oh, maybe we should change this about my training or change this going into a meet, he's super collaborative and he's really responsive to all my needs, and I think that's super important. And I think he just really understands me as a swimmer and gets me. I mean, I could do a 50 first in warm-up and he can tell me if, if I need to fix something right away. He can tell if I'm tired or not. So just understanding me as a person, as a swimmer, and just having that eye for me is something that he's always really had and he really caught on to really quickly, and I think that's what makes our relationship, coach to swimmer, really healthy and helpful.
her consistency is second to none. She's held me to a high standard. She's made me better as a coach. She's made me think outside the box and have to do things differently, which I appreciate. Because again, if I'm going to expect that out of my athletes, it's okay if they expect that out of me. But I mean, what makes her great is just her consistency, her attitude towards training, her desire to be the best. One of the other memories from the Olympic Games is after that 400 free, you came around that corner and you were not happy. You were not happy about the 400 free, and it was one of those where we had to have a conversation. I agreed with her, but we also had to, all right, let's take a deep breath because we got a relay coming. We've got 7 more days of swimming. Like, that's the stuff that people don't maybe see of Summer, and I think those are the special qualities of Summer. It's like she doesn't like losing, and she loves to be training day in and day out. So those are special qualities of her.
I love that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We know that this is a last hurrah. As I understand it, you two will be together at Worlds. I know there's some details to sort through on all of that. Have you thought about what your future looks like?
Not fully thought out completely, but I mean, obviously brainstorming ideas on where I should be going to not just continue as a swimmer, but also develop as a human being, and where might be a good place for me. And another really important thing for me is school and academic wise. So I have reached out to Bob Bowman and the University of Texas and figuring out a pro team that I could join. I wouldn't do the NCAA, but I would join a pro team somewhere. And I mean, NCAA is a great option, but for me personally, I think pro teams makes more sense for me just because it has a lot more flexibility and it's a lot more individual. So have reached out to him and he's been great. So yeah, I mean, University of Texas, there's some of the best swimmers in the world there, and along with it's a great academic school as well. So
A reaction to that when you hear Bob Bowman?
I've had the opportunity to work with Bob. I've got nothing but respect for Bob. Summer, when she started talking about all of this was certainly one of the options that we threw out there. Summer's a special kid. The array of events that she's swimming, there's not a whole lot of places that I think can do what she needs and give her the ability to have people her age, a school. Like, it just, there's lots of things that kind of make the options, only so many. And so I've been supportive of this the entire time. And again, if she's going to leave here, I want to make sure she's going someplace where she's going to get better. It's only a reflection on us if she finds a place where she can spread her wings and get even better. So
Yeah, I wondered about that, Brent. I mean, what you two have done together is really special. Now she's going into this next chapter, and in some ways, you two are always going to be inextricably tied to one another.
I hope so.
And then to go to the coach that is widely regarded as maybe one of the best ever, who handled somebody like Michael Phelps, does that seem like a good fit for somebody who wants to be the greatest ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And again, if you can find me a better place, then I'm all ears. But I think that would be it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity.
And Summer, just on that topic of being able to manage a big program, obviously that has to be an attractive aspect to this potential.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, being a multi-event swimmer, a lot of coaches will kind of focus more on sprint or middle distance or distance and one stroke. So Bob, having someone like the greatest of all time swimmer, Michael Phelps, being able to do all those events is definitely an attraction, and along with Leon as well. So kind of overlapping on some events that he does as well. So definitely really important. And as I move forward through my career, I still want to continue to develop other events that I haven't been neglecting the past few years as well. So always trying to expand on that, along with strengthening my best events as well.
And to be clear, this is going to be a visit with Bob, but nothing is decided at this point.
Yes, no.
treat it like a recruiting trip, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just an 18-year-old looking at her next phase. So.
Love it. You swam your, as I understand it, 800 meter. And maybe just react to this latest accomplishment, Brent, in a distance that I think the entire swimming world wants to see Summer swim international.
Well, I'll do my part on keep making it a positive experience so she wants to do it again. Summer can do whatever she wants in this sport. She's got the gifts to do that. She trains and works really hard for an event like the 800. It's very much within her wheelhouse. It's up to her on what she wants to do with it moving forward. And she can do whatever she wants.
Summer?
Yeah, I mean, definitely not my favorite event, but I am good at it, so maybe I'll grow to like it again. But no, at Worlds, I definitely want to be doing 5 individual events. What that looks like, I don't know exactly yet, but I want to do 5.
And as I read the tea leaves, I would understand that you would probably have to make a decision between the 200 meter back and the 800 meter.
He's getting better at reading.
You know what? You two have taught me a lot over the years. But I would imagine that would be the contemplation, and there would be a number of factors, Summer, I'm sure, that would go into that, including schedule and relays and all of that. How much would you have to change your training, and when do you have to make that decision?
The sooner the better, I think. But training-wise, I think Coach Brent we kind of cover all bases. Like, my training could, if I choose the 200 back or if I choose 800, both would be good. I mean, maybe need to do a little bit more backstroke than I'm doing now, or maybe a little bit more distance training. But overall, we do 9 practices, 10 practices a week, so we really can cover all bases no matter what. And it's not like I really trained a ton of distance before the 800, and obviously I had a good race. So, I mean, I think swimming the 400 free and the 400 IM really makes me be able to kind of go up and down on all strokes.
100%. Having that 400 IM is kind of the middle point. There's lots of other ways you can, you have to develop all the other stuff. So for me, the 200s of stroke still have a huge emphasis because we're trying to develop that 400 IM. I've always felt that the 800 free is a great way to be training for the end of the 400 IM. So they all kind of work together. It's just a matter of, hey, maybe for this cycle, we'll spend a little more time working on this or working on that.
But if I'm hearing correctly, 5 events for Worlds, can we copy paste to LA 2028?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, it might not be the same events, but for LA, definitely doing 5 individual events is a long-term goal of mine for sure.
In a recent podcast, you said, I crave that feeling of winning an Olympic gold. And you've also talked about not really liking silver. If you could look down the road into a crystal ball about LA, what does that look like? I mean, I get the sense you want to dominate this sport in every facet possible.
I mean, I think just getting my hand on the wall first and as many goals as possible is always the goal for me. And bottom line is win at all costs, and whatever that takes, it takes. I mean, going into Paris, that was my goal. I fell a bit short of that, but overall, of course, I'm still happy with it. But going into LA, I think getting my first Olympic medal and it being at silver, having what that felt like really motivated me to not get any more throughout the meet. So,
Awesome.
I mean,
it's awesome.
It's been wonderful, hasn't it, to see the evolution of when you look at Worlds and what she's doing and then building to LA, it really feels like LA is going to once again be a huge moment for Summer.
I mean, I don't ever try to get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to live present and, have the goal out there and just keep training and worry about what we do day to day. But, I mean, I've always loved that she teeters on this line of being compelled and obsessed, and knows when it's time to take a deep breath, but knows when, hey, you got to learn your lessons and move on, and then also when it's time to be happy and proud of your achievements. For a teenager, it's not everybody's that grounded about this high performance thing, because the high performance thing is it's hard, and there's a fine line between almost crazed and high performance, and she does a great job of managing herself, and I think a lot of credit to her family in that regard as well. So I think she's got all the tools and the mindset to keep being the best leading into 2028 for sure.
Yeah. I don't want to get too sentimental, but I am feeling nostalgic because this might be the last conversation we have on this.
Come to Sarasota.
I might come back. I'll be back in the winter for sure. But Summer, Brent joked about braces. We were in the car as you learned to drive down here. These have been some extraordinary years in your life. How do you try and sum it up?
I don't think I can. I mean, I think I just keep going back to how much I've grown outside the pool as well, but I think the reason I've grown so much outside of the pool is what I've accomplished in the pool and learning through those experiences. I mean, the first world record I broke was a complete shock, and I think that's probably one of my favorite memories. That feeling, I don't think I'll ever feel again. It was completely indescribable. So moments like that, and then going to the Olympics and coming back with 4 medals, 3 of them gold, just, it makes you kind of grow up in a way, I think, and you learn so much about yourself and about who you want to become out of that. So, I mean, yeah, and Coach Brent's been by my side that whole time as well, so of course I owe a lot of that to him.
In your last months together, Brent, what has Summer taught you throughout all of this?
I would say there's always more. Hold yourself to a really high standard and hold the people around you to a really high standard. And then also, again, I think I've said this a couple of times, is I'm super impressed how a teenage girl is, who wants to be as good as she is, can also go, hey, I'm going to take a Sunday off. I need a day off, or I'm going to go to an F1 race. Like, being able to manage all of that has been pretty impressive. So she's taught me to be able to manage my emotions and expectations along the way as well. So I've learned a lot from her. Learned a lot.
Is there anything that Summer does along the rest of her career that's going to surprise you, or are you going to kind of be watching from afar and go, she was always capable of doing that?
Well, I hope I'll always feel that way. I think I'll probably turn into more of a fan, instead of a coach along the way. When you're with somebody every day and you see the work that you're doing, I'm not necessarily surprised by much. I think when you're not there day to day, you end up having a different emotion when great things are achieved.
And last one, these worlds are going to be your last together. I'm guessing you're going to want to pour it all out for your last dance together, Summer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm so excited. And to end it off in Singapore, I think it's going to be really fun. I think to end off at a long course world championships is an amazing way to do it, coming off an Olympic year as well. So yeah, I'm super excited, and doing 5 events is something that we haven't done before too. So trying something new, and depending on what events I do, it'll be fun as well.
Well, I'll be pushing for that. That's another conversation. Listen, Brent, you did take care of Canada's star. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the time you've always given me and us. And Summer, more to come.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you both.
Appreciate
awesome.
it.